Hello everybody, this is your Digital Super Saiyan 3, back here with another video, and this is my second movie review of the entire Skywalker saga of the Star Wars franchise. This is the second installment of the series. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, came out in 2002. So, what's the overall plot of this movie? In the opening text crawl, according to the text crawl, thousands of worlds threaten to leave the Galactic Republic, and it's in turmoil. Unable to keep peace throughout the galaxy with their very limited numbers, the Galactic Republic decides to invoke an act to create a grand army for the Republic to assist the Jedi in keeping the peace throughout the galaxy. And these separatists who have left the Republic are under the leadership of the mysterious Count Dooku, brought into this franchise played by the late actor Christopher Lee. It's a shame he's no longer with us, and he was great as Dooku. And I know he was in other movies. I think he was in Lord of the Rings, but I'm not really much of an expert on Lord of the Rings because I haven't seen those movies. But I think he was there. I'm not sure, but I'll look it up later. But yeah, and Senator Padme Amidala, being yet again played by Natalie Portman, returns to the planet Coruscant to weigh in on this issue to cast her vote for this army of the Republic. But it turns out Padme is under attack as someone is trying to kill her. Fearing for the safety of Senator Amidala, Chancellor Palpatine, yet again played by Ian McDiarmid, appoints 2 Jedi bodyguards, Obi-Wan Kenobi and his apprentice Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan yet again being played by Ian McGregor, and Anakin this time around being played by Hayden Christensen. The two are assigned to protect the senator from harm. But as the senator is then attacked while she's in her bedchambers by these poisonous worms that were sent in by an assassin that was hired by a bounty hunter by the name of Jango Fett. Anakin and Obi-Wan see the worms in Padme's bedroom and quickly kill them. Then, a chase ensues above the skylines of Coruscant. An opinion-based, this speeder chase is just an awesome sequence as Anakin and Obi-Wan are trying to capture the assassin named Zam, by the name of Zam Welles. And this chase was just so intense. You see Anakin and Obi-Wan having to drive through power couplings at this power plant, and you see Anakin get on top of Zam's speeder, and they have a fight, and Anakin's lightsaber gets knocked out of his hand, and Obi-Wan catches the lightsaber, and the speeder crashes. Anakin and Obi-Wan then regroup and they chase after Zam inside a bar, where Zam tries to ambush Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan quickly gets the drop on her. And the two try to interrogate the assassin until she is poisoned and killed by Jango Fett, who escapes. Obi-Wan retrieves the dart from Zam's neck. The council decides to have Obi-Wan be the one to chase after the bounty hunter, while Anakin must escort Padme back to her home planet of Naboo. And while Padme did not want to leave, but she is forced to, in order to keep herself safe, by order of the Chancellor. Anakin, along with R2-D2, takes Padme back to Naboo while they have aboard a passenger ship. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, Obi-Wan looks into the mysterious dart he retrieved from Zam. So he goes to a diner on Coruscant owned by a friend of his named Dex. Dex tells Obi-Wan that the dart is from a planet called Kamino. So, Obi-Wan takes the dart and tries to look into the world of Kamino from the Jedi archives, but the data for the archives was erased. Because Obi-Wan soon learned that the archives were erased. Especially if a Padawan pointed that out to him. Especially since Obi-Wan soon made his way to Kamino after going to the center of gravity, where he would find his missing planet. And Kamino is mostly a world that is basically water. Basically, the entire planet is water. And I mean, there's like no land except platforms. Platforms and water. And there's a lot of rainstorms there. Yeah, so there's that. On Kamino, Obi-Wan meets the Prime Minister of Kamino, who tells him that the clone army that Sifo Dyas ordered is basically ready and right on schedule. So, who is Sifo Dyas? Well, he was a Jedi Knight who was on the Jedi Council who was killed 10 years ago, because this film took place in its timeline 10 years after the events of Phantom Menace. After the Phantom Menace. While on Naboo, Anakin and Padme begin hitting it off. And I mean, we get to see them start to fall in love with each other. Yes, a romance does bloom throughout the rest of this movie between Anakin and Padme, and you know, at least this romance is actually more believable than Kylo Ren and Rey. Oh, don't worry, I'll eventually get to the sequel trilogy. I'll get to episodes 7, 8, and 9 when I get to them. Until Anakin has visions of his mother. His mother, Shmi. So Anakin decides to go back to Tatooine with Padme in tow. And the two head to Tatooine by taking a ship with R2-D2 in tow. So, as Anakin and Padme make it to Tatooine, Anakin learns that his mother was sold to a moisture farmer by the name of Cliegg Lars. And so, Anakin makes it to the moisture farm where he meets Cliegg, his son Owen, and Owen's fiancée, Beru. And Anakin then learns that his mother had been captured by the Tusken Raiders. By a large camp of by a bunch of Tusken Raiders. So, Anakin makes his way to the Tusken Raiders' village. There, well, Anakin finds his mother, And yes, I forgot to mention she also married Klieg. By the way, Anakin finds his mother, and basically, she's not doing so hot. And in her dying moments, she's happy to see Anakin again, and how much he's grown. And then she dies in Anakin's arms. In his anger, Anakin takes his revenge on the Tusken Raiders and slaughters them. Not just the men, but the women and the children. He basically attacks the Tusken Raiders village and slaughters the Tusken Raiders in retaliation. All the way on Coruscant, Yoda senses what's going on. So, Obi-Wan soon confronts Jango Fett on Kamino after learning that he is the original host that has been responsible for the clones being made in the first place, since it's his DNA that the clones are made from. And because of this, Obi-Wan then corners Jango Fett and attempts to take him in for questioning, but Jango puts up a fight against Obi-Wan. And of course, Jango's son, Boba Fett, yes, this film also introduced us to Boba Fett as a kid, basically comes to the aid of his father, using the Slave One's cannons to save his father. Jango and Boba make their escape off of Kamino, with Obi-Wan close behind after Obi-Wan put a tracking device on their hull. Obi-Wan then chases the bounty hunter and his son through an asteroid field, where the bounty hunter puts up a fight to get the Jedi off of his tail. Well, he manages to shake Obi-Wan, thinking Obi-Wan to be dead after using his homing missiles from the Slave One. However, we all know Obi-Wan isn't dead, so, of course, Obi-Wan follows the bounty hunter and his son onto the surface of Geonosis. There, he discovers that Count Dooku, alongside the Trade Federation's Viceroy Gunray, had been responsible for the attempted assassination of Senator Amidala, and that Count Dooku was responsible for the many worlds leaving the Republic to join his separatist cause. However, Obi-Wan is soon captured by the Geonosians, who are part of the Separatist. But before he was captured, Obi-Wan transmits a message to Anakin. And Anakin and Padme do get it after Anakin buried his mom and vented his frustration and talking about how he should be more powerful and how, yeah. In Anakin's defense, I can understand what he's doing. He is venting his frustration a lot in this movie. And people wanted to call Hayden Christensen out for overacting, despite the fact that, when I look at it, it's not exactly that bad. I've heard worse, so it's not that bad. So, Anakin, Padme, R2-D2, and a completed C-3PO make their way to Geonosis after transmitting Obi-Wan's message to the Republic on Coruscant. And right away on Geonosis, They make their way to the droid foundry and are attacked. And as our heroes are then cornered in the factory, you see Padme ducking under and dodging machinery and her getting knocked into this vat. You see C-3PO get his head knocked off and put on a battle droid's body. And Anakin gets his lightsaber trashed from the giant slicers trying to slice him up after he gets his hand trapped in this metal thing. Anyway, our heroes are captured, and Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan are taken to the Geonosians Colosseum, where they're about to be killed by a public execution. As the Geonosians had these giant monsters, these 3 giant monsters trying to kill our heroes. Our heroes do manage to escape from the pillars they're tied to, only to dodge a lot from the giant creatures without their weapons, because our heroes are unarmed. But the cavalry arrives in the form of Mace Windu, played by Sam Jackson, where he whips out his purple lightsaber, along with the vast reserves of Jedi he had brought with him. And of course, this massive Colosseum battle is just so awesome. You see a scorn of Geonosians and battle droids come in. You see a lot of sabers being used. It is just intense. And then you have Yoda coming in with the clones. And as soon as the clones make their way in, Yoda makes the save and tells the clones to form a perimeter around the survivors. And of course, we even see that the Separatist leaders had blueprints for the Death Star. And yes, they tell Dooku to take the plans to Sidious, to his master Lord Sidious on Coruscant. And Dooku does. Or Dooku does just that, as he basically takes the plans with him and gets on a speeder bike. Anakin and Obi-Wan corner Dooku after Padme and one of the clones got knocked out of the gunship that was carrying them. But of course, we know Padme and that trooper were okay because of course they got another ride soon after, so it was all good. Anakin and Obi-Wan, like I said, corner Dooku in the hangar, but Dooku quickly takes both of them apart, and then proceeds to fight against Master Yoda. And they have one heck of a fight. They have a great lightsaber duel. Despite how short it was still a fun fight to watch. It ends when Dooku distracts Yoda by trying to crush Anakin and Obi-Wan with this giant pipe, but thanks to Yoda's quick thinking, he saves the two, while Dooku escapes. With the whole platoon of Federation ships following him, Dooku makes his way to Coruscant, where he meets with his master and tells him that the plans are secured. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan tells Yoda, or Obi-Wan is with Master Yoda and Mace Windu. After Obi-Wan says, without the clones' help, we wouldn't have achieved victory. However, Yoda says, no, not victory. The shroud of the dark side has been dropped. Begun has the Clone Wars. And then we see the clones on Coruscant. And we are stunned and amazed by just how the sequence plays out. And on Naboo, Anakin and Padme get married. and movie, it was a great movie. So, final thoughts on Attack of the Clones. It's not bad. I actually enjoyed this film. Now that I rewatched it again, I gotta say it definitely deserves my spot in my top 5 Star Wars movies. I eventually might do this video eventually, but in time, just give or take. Anyway, Attack of the Clones is fun, and it's not so bad. Anyway, this has been your Digital Super Saiyan 3, and I'll see my Star Wars faithful for Revenge of the Sith.